can you use the coconut oil on your skin? I don't know how much of it would be absorbed and like everywhere on the body. And the other thing is the sweeteners. Now, I don't know if I missed this or not, if you talked about it, stevia, swerve, the actual coconut sugar. Now, I don't have diabetes at this, thank God right now.
Okay, good. Let me address that. First of all, the coconut sugar, I would not recommend. It is really a lot like plain sugar. And I think it's fascinating that you asked about coconut oil rubbed on the body. At first, I thought, well, this is fine, right? You're not eating it. But think about it. If you put a tablespoon of coconut oil on a countertop and come back the next morning, what's there? Same thing. It doesn't change, right? You rub it on your skin, and later it's absorbed, isn't it? And I did check, and fats are absorbed through your skin, do go into your bloodstream, where they actually raise cholesterol in your bloodstream and increase your risk of both heart attacks and strokes and diabetes. So it depends how much you rub in your bloodstream. But if you do something like a quarter cup of coconut oil over your entire body, another interesting thing happens. You get a lot of excess calories without much nutrition at all. So you're increasing weight gain as well from rubbing it on your body. Isn't that fascinating? Now, as far as the sweeteners, stevia is a great sweetener, non-caloric. And if you like it, that's a good way to go. So I hope I've answered your question there. Thank you, Ruth. Good questions.
Thanks very much, Steve. And up next, we have Monty. And welcome, Monty.
Thank you very much. The coconut powder, how much safer is it? And what's the best source for vitamin E? Not supplements, but best food source for vitamin E supplement. But if you use the coconut flakes, is it any safer? Or the powder?
Yes, actually, the coconut flakes are a lot safer if you just eat a few of them. You don't wind up getting much saturated fat at all. They're so chewy and flavorful that if you're really craving coconut flavor, say on a salad or something, sprinkle a few flakes, keep it light, and no problem there. You also can read the package or do an analysis and find out how much saturated fat is in, say, a tablespoon of coconut flakes. It's not too much. Compared with the oil where it's way too much. And what was your other question?
What's the best source for vitamin E?
Okay, great. Vitamin E comes in different tocopherols. For instance, in the Hawaii dementia prevention trial, which I designed and ran and was very successful in reversing dementia, and Monty, I believe you were at that lecture just about a week ago, we used an ounce of ground up walnuts, and we use an ounce of ground up sunflower seeds. The sunflower seeds provide vitamin E in the alpha tocopherol form, and the walnuts provide vitamin E in the gamma tocopherol form. Walnuts have the added benefit of having omega-3 fatty acids as well. So those are two good sources. Other nuts and seeds are also having vitamin E and can be used as well. As I mentioned, there's only two that don't have vitamin E, just macadamia nuts and coconuts. Thank you, Monty.
Thanks again, Steve. And now we have Benny. Welcome, Benny.
Good morning. Since your program involves mainly eating fresh fruits and vegetables, is it fair to say there would be no diabetes if someone eats just fresh fruits and vegetables? Or another way, the cause of diabetes is eating anything other than fresh fruits and vegetables?
Well, just eating fresh fruits and vegetables is not going to be very satisfying to your stomach or your nutrient needs. So which is why the addition of at least a couple servings of beans of some sort per day, you could, if you want the easiest thing, maybe soy milk, edamame beans are great. There's so many kinds of beans out there. Any of them are really good. It's also important to include nuts and seeds with your fruits and vegetables. And of course, we do want to eat the lower glycemic load fruits and vegetables, especially if we're already diabetic, which would include mostly the berries, things like pears and apples that don't have a lot of sugar and is released slowly. So a complete diet could also include whole intact grains, which helps with caloric needs, because just fruits and vegetables, you're not likely to get the number of calories you need to stay satisfied and keep your weight levels up. Thank you for an interesting question.
Thanks, Benny. And up next, we have Ray. Hi, Ray.
Hi, thank you. And thank you very much, Doctor. I have questions. One is, my wife had been using the flax seed oil, and I've been using the flax seed whole and ground up sometime. Which would you say is the best?
Well, as my wife likes to say, there's good, better, and best. And the best would be freshly ground up whole organic flax seeds, because did you know some flax seeds are genetically modified? So that would definitely be the best. However, flaxseed oil, if it's extracted cold pressed, it's very hard to find a good flaxseed oil. It may not be thoroughly rancid. The problem is that flax seeds are very rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have 3 points where they can become oxidized or rancid. Now, rancid oils can increase cancer risk, actually. So it's best to eat them freshly ground would be the best way. Ground up every few days and stored in a closed container in the refrigerator would be second best. And also supplying your omega-3s would be the flaxseed oil. But as I mentioned, it has a one drawback of likely being a little bit rancid. So thank you for your question, Ray.
Thanks, Steve. Up next, we have Stephen. And okay, welcome, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor, for getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's so nice of you. And just a great body of life research. And I just appreciate everything you've done. So I guess my question would be, you didn't mention, not that I eat it, but you didn't mention palm oil. Maybe talk a little bit about palm oil, and maybe it's not so good for us either.
Oh, yes. And actually, I didn't get up at 3 a.m. I got up at 1 a.m. But somehow I feel okay. So palm oil, there's two types of palm oil. And again, I refer you to my own textbook, Fats and Oils Demystified, to look at the constituents of these. One is the palm fruit oil, the palm oil, and the other is palm kernel oil. And they're different in composition. The palm kernel oil is almost identical to coconut oil. So I would say never on that one. The palm oil itself, actually, if it's unprocessed, has some interesting components such as tocotrienols. Tocotrienols are in the vitamin E family, and especially topically, they can be very antioxidant and helpful. It still does have too much saturated fat to take much of it. So you'll need to check the amount of palm oil that you're eating and check how much you're getting of saturated fat from other sources, keep it below 12 grams a day, and then you can include a tiny amount of palm oil. But I'm not sure that I would ever recommend that. But if you're really enthusiastic about it and you can fit it in your saturated fatty acid budget, maybe just a little bit would be okay. Thank you for your question.